Ladies and gentlemen, we encourage you to stand for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that her flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome parents, graduates, families, and friends to the 2020 Newport High School graduation program. As you settle in and prepare to watch this evening's ceremony, I would like to acknowledge the dignitaries who have contributed to your students' academic experience this year. Lincoln County School District Superintendent, Dr. Karen Gray, Lincoln County School Board members Ron Beck and Liz Martin, Site Council members Helen Layton, Karen Allen, and Tina Watanabe. I personally want to say a big thank you to Samantha Murphy, Vicki Roller, Melinda Dye, Kenna Johnson, Debbie Heller, Angie Rich Creek, Crystal Greenwald, Shannon Thurber, Nora Lozier, Ollie Richardson, and all of our other Newport High staff helpers for their hard work in organizing tonight's program. Finally, thank you to video production teacher Holly Schell, who has worked tirelessly the last 3 weeks on many of the recordings you have enjoyed during this time of celebration, especially tonight's ceremony. We had an amazing year with our 4 inbound exchange students. These students immersed themselves into our school and made lasting friendships with many of our students and staff. Our community has benefited from the diversity these students bring. Please congratulate Maria Verissimo, Portugal; Noemi Hermont, France; Enes El Kadore, Belgium; Karina Abdulina, Kazakhstan. This was not the speech I intended to give this year. Very little has been what any of us intended for the graduating class of 2020. As a parent with my own daughter that is a member of this class, I know that we have all been planning for years how we would celebrate in these final moments of their high school experience. And this doesn't come close to what we wanted for them. As a principal and a parent, I have been heartbreakingly disappointed the last few months. We are all disappointed. Yet what is important to remember is that our students are not disappointing. Our children have risen to the occasion, taking jobs in industries that were shorthanded and helping their families make ends meet. Under educational conditions that were far from optimal, they finished classes to meet requirements and helped classmates who were discouraged, impoverished, and struggling do the same. They signed up to take online classes from college to take advantage of the moment. They spent time with their families. They helped their neighbors. They responded to survey after survey after survey from me, the senior advisor, and the grad night committee asking them how they wanted to proceed when all they wanted was for things to go back to normal. And really, they've done it all without a great deal of complaining. Yes, I said without complaining. Well, I'm sure that you've heard your fair share of frustration expressed at home. I know I certainly did. When it comes down to it, they picked themselves up, dusted themselves off, and began to make plans to move on. In fact, they may have accepted all of this better than the adults have. Eleanor Roosevelt once said that people grow through experience if they meet life honestly and courageously. That is what our students have chosen: honesty, courage, and growth. As disappointed as I am, I don't know if I could be more proud of my daughter and her classmates. Sometimes I wonder if I would have handled it as well at their age. When I looked back on last year's speech, I discovered that I wrote about life's journeys, and all I could do was shake my head and laugh. Who could have ever imagined this journey? Yet, I am confident that our students are stronger, wiser, and more compassionate because of it all. They are being equipped with tools that will serve them well on other journeys later in life. And seniors, there will be other journeys. As difficult as it may be to see around this particular bend in the road, I promise that you have amazing moments up ahead. You have simply learned that with joy and sunshine, sometimes there are also storms that take us by surprise, cause us pain, and leave us drifting in seas of confusion until we reset the sails and press on in the face of adversity. In the fall, before we could have ever imagined what our spring would entail, you chose your class motto, a Dr. Seuss quote: "Sometimes you will never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory." I'm not sure you could have chosen a better truth for this moment in all of our lives. And with that, press on, class of 2020. Please know that you are loved and that you are surrounded by a community cheering you on, both near and afar, as you courageously begin a new adventure. We believe in you. And at NHS, we believe it's important to teach students to take time to thank those people who have helped them on life's journeys. And it is a long-standing tradition to do so at graduation. It is at this point in the ceremony where we would have typically provided them that opportunity. Yesterday, students were given 3 coins, just like this one. On one side of the coins is a phrase, "thank you." They were told to keep one of them as my thank you to them. Seniors, you have exceeded my expectations, and I am truly proud of you. The other 2 coins were theirs to give away. Some wrote a staff name on the token and dropped it in a basket to be delivered later. Some kept their tokens to give to family or friends. Students, as proud as I am of all of you, you didn't make it here on your own. Your teachers, parents, aunts, uncles, siblings, grandparents, neighbors, and friends all helped you along. Seniors, we encourage you to thank those who have helped you on your journey so far. At this time, please welcome Lincoln County School District Superintendent, Dr. Karen Gray.
My name is Karen Fisher Gray, and I am the proud superintendent for the Lincoln County School District. It is my pleasure to speak to you, the graduating class of 2020. You have spent the last 13 years working hard and having fun, learning and growing and making good friends that will last a lifetime. I would like to share with you my profound sadness that we are not able yet to have a ceremony all together at our high schools due to the current circumstances. During the days and times of our originally scheduled graduation ceremonies, a graduation event will be streamed so that people can watch and enjoy our graduates. Our high schools have used their creativity to design modified events and activities to honor and celebrate our 2020 seniors. I am personally hoping that we will be able to host traditional ceremonies sometime later this year. Today my remarks are about creating your own happiness. I cannot think of or imagine a more important topic than how we can create our own happiness and bring happiness to others. Thich Nhat Hanh, Zen Buddhist monk and famous nominee for the Nobel Peace Prize, award-winning writer, poet, spiritual leader, and peace activist, said, "The source of love is deep within us, and we can help others realize a lot of happiness. One word, one action, or one thought can reduce another person's suffering and bring him joy. One word can give comfort and confidence, destroy doubt, help someone avoid a mistake, reconcile a conflict, or open the door to freedom. One action can save a person's life or help him take advantage of a rare opportunity. One thought can do the same, because thoughts always lead to words, which lead to actions. If love is in our heart, every thought, every word, every deed can bring about a miracle." Happiness is and will always be the most cherished, yet most elusive of all human desires. Day in and day out, many search for happiness, but end the day empty-handed. That's because they are waiting to find their happiness in someone or something else. We choose happiness. We choose happiness for ourselves. Happiness isn't something that someone gives us, nor is it something that we have to have permission for. Happiness is a state of mind that is created within. Here are 10 ways to ensure that happiness is a part of your everyday life. Number 1, state your achievements. There is joy in work. There is no happiness except in the realization that we have accomplished something, said Henry Ford. It's easy to get caught up in day-to-day life and never take the time to reflect upon the things that we have accomplished. Each one of you has done plenty of awesome things in your life. Don't forget to recount them. So what if life isn't perfect at this exact moment in time? It's okay that it's taking a tad bit longer. The most important thing is that you are moving forward and you're in a better position today than you were yesterday. Start a journal listing accomplishments, milestones, and breakthroughs you've experienced. After writing this, take a moment and reflect on what you've done. Number 2, include the little things you love into your day-to-day life. Robert Brault says, "Enjoy the little things, for one day you may look back and realize that they're really big things." I'm sure you've heard the saying, it's the little things in life that matter. The little things are the small and often unappreciated aspects of life that really make us happy. Rather, it's your favorite cup of coffee, your favorite cup of tea, your morning walk along the beach, attending a yoga class, or wearing that outfit that makes you feel like $1,000,000. Schedule your life around the small details that bring you happiness. Number 3, do what you love. As Steve Jobs famously said, your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. The only way to great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep on looking and don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you will find it. Number 4, paint your perfect day. To accomplish great things, we must first dream, then visualize, then plan, then believe and act. Everyone has the power to live each day exactly the way they want to. We all have the same 24 hours to work with. It's up to you to decide how you will fill up those minutes. Here's a guide to getting unstuck and regaining your motivation. Ask yourself, are you wasting time watching TV, sleeping late, complaining about your job, or wishing you had a better life? Or are you going after your goals and doing whatever it takes to reach them? Here are 3 great steps to achieve for your perfect day. Number 1, realize you have the power to achieve anything you want to do, no matter what anyone else says. Figure out what your perfect day looks like is number 2. And number 3, you must believe 100% that your perfect day will become a reality. Number 5, put yourself above everything else. Love yourself first and everything else falls into line, said the famous comedian Lucille Ball. It's time you put yourself first and become a little bit selfish. While it's admirable to help others, don't forget to show yourself some love. Remember what they always say on an airplane. You must put on your oxygen mask first before you can put on another's. Number 6, tell yourself today how awesome you will be. Success is a state of mind. If you want success, start thinking of yourself as a success, says Dr. Joyce Brothers. Happiness comes from within. It starts by reshaping your mindset to be positive and eliminating negative thoughts. Be positive, believe in yourself, and no matter what the obstacles that stand in your way, nothing will defeat you. Number 7, forget being perfect and accept yourself. If you look for perfection, you will never be happy, said famous writer Leo Tolstoy. People often act confident and secure around others, but when they're by themselves, they're insecure. Realize we live in an imperfect world and stop comparing yourself to others. Once you learn to accept yourself for who you are, life becomes simpler and you will attain peace and you will attain happiness. We're almost coming to the end. Number 8, surround yourself with the right company. Surround yourself with only people who lift you up. This is spoken by Oprah Winfrey, someone who knows about this. Your friends should bring out the best in you. Think of your company in terms of quality and not quantity. It is more important to have a few quality friends who inspire you than a ton who leave you in a negative state of mind. Number 9, stop worrying and keep it moving forward. Stop worrying about what you have to lose and focus on what you have to gain. Why waste your time worrying when so many things you have no control over? If what you are worrying about isn't within your means to be solved, don't worry about it. Embrace the uncertainty that life brings and get to enjoying it, bringing yourself and others happiness. And last but not least, get out of your comfort zone and be bold. Move out of your comfort zone. You can only grow if you're willing to feel a little uncomfortable. We cannot become what we want to be by remaining what we are. Nothing worth having comes with 100% guarantee, but willing to take a risk is what life is all about. Living in your comfort zone shrinks your world and gives you tunnel vision. Instead of thinking, if I only had, take a leap of faith and maybe, just maybe, you'll discover the life you've always wanted. And that's what I wish to you 2020 graduates. I wish you happiness in the life that you wish for yourself. In closing, I want to tell you how proud I am of all of you and all of your accomplishments. You made it through to the end of your senior year, and yet this is just your beginning. Be happy. Make the choice to be happy. Spread love and light to everyone you meet. Know that there are always challenges and suffering, but then comes the opportunity to rise above it and to find your joy. Share your kindness, compassion, your joy, your peace with everyone that you meet. And I know that you will find long-lasting, beautiful happiness in your life. Congratulations, class of 2020. I wish you all the best.
Tonight, Newport High School is honored to have 9 valedictorians and 1 salutatorian. Valedictorians are the students with the highest GPA who have earned the honors diploma. A salutatorian is the student or students with the second highest GPA who have earned the honors diploma. To introduce our salutatorian, please welcome Spanish teacher Melissa Weiss.
It is with great pleasure that I introduce our salutatorian, Audrey Vanderhoff. I would like to unpack some of the special memories from my journey with Audrey. She wants to travel and volunteer in projects like Habitat for Humanity. Audrey desires to live a happy, adventurous, and loving life. One of Audrey's goals in life is to bring joy to others. Audrey, you have certainly brought joy to NHS. My connection with Audrey started her freshman year in character leadership. She took on planning and ordering all the balloons for the staff. If there's a project to be done, Audrey is the person to get it done, complete with price comparisons, tables, and graphs. Later, Audrey was in my IB Spanish class. I cannot remember a time when Audrey delivered a presentation that wasn't creative. When she needed to deliver a presentation in Spanish about technology, she spoke like a robot in Spanish. When she heard that our AVID program needed tutors, she became a tutor in 2 classes. If there's a need, she will work to fill it in a big way, like this big TRF form. Audrey plans to attend Southern Oregon University in their accelerated baccalaureate program with a double major in anthropology and sociology. She loves to learn and plans to also get a degree in biology. She would like to get a teaching certificate and minor in Spanish. Can you tell she has a passion for learning and that it is her lifelong goal? Audrey is the daughter of Eric and Marianne Vanderhoff. They have a lot to celebrate with her twin, Stefan, graduating this year as well. Let's congratulate Audrey Vanderhoff.
To introduce our first valedictorian, please welcome PE teacher and soccer coach, Ollie Richardson.
Newport High School's next valedictorian is Chris Lee. Chris has always excelled in the classroom, not just by doing required assignments and passing quizzes and tests, but by thriving on learning more than was required and going beyond the traditional classroom environment. He is and will be a lifelong learner, someone who will make others around him better and will always give his best in both his personal and professional life. I've had the pleasure of coaching Chris on the boys' soccer team. I witnessed his hard work, dedication, commitment, and sacrifice. He is an excellent teammate who he makes those around him better by leading by example. Nobody ever questions his work ethic or physical effort, and this pushes his team to match that effort on the field. Chris doesn't make excuses on or off the field and has great integrity and character. I trust Chris to make good decisions, learn from his mistakes, and make positive contributions to his family, community, and professional life. I look forward to seeing what Chris does in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Lee.
To introduce our next valedictorian, please welcome your 2020 Regional Teacher of the Year, Brian Hanna.
Parents, friends, family, and graduates of the 2020 class of Newport High School, it is my esteemed pleasure to introduce valedictorian Noah Goodwin Rice. Noah is the son of Kate Goodwin and Jim Rice of Newport. He also has a sister, Sophie, a Newport High graduate, who is still deciding whether or not to claim him. Noah will be attending Western Washington University, go Vikings, in the honors program this fall, and will be majoring in some sort of science, probably biology. In addition to his impressive academics, Noah has been very active in cross-country, track, band, including serving as the drum major, and robotics, just to name a few of his activities. I have always enjoyed Noah's indefatigable curiosity as he constantly peppered me with questions about what was and wasn't possible with physics, and where the calculus he was learning could also be applied. I would like to share these 3 brief quotes which I think summarize some of whom Noah is. First, from Aristotle. There is no genius without a touch of madness. Second, from a social psychologist, David Johnson. There are no speed limits on the road to excellence. And third, from comedian Steve Martin. A day without sunshine is like, night. Just as a day without Noah Goodwin Rice is all that much less. So please join me in congratulating valedictorian Noah Goodwin Rice.
Please welcome track and field coach and parent, Kurt Hargett.
Grace Helen Hargett is a valedictorian, but she is so much more. When we named her Grace, we didn't know how perfect that name would fit. She has lots of labels. She encapsulates many things. She's a fighter, a makeup artist, a fierce friend, a loyal and loving daughter, a shooter of large guns, a shutdown defender, a three-point shooter, a great sister, a great daughter, a comedian, a pure leaf tea drinker, a sharp-tongued assassin, a pen expert, a gymnast, best note taker ever, otter hunter, risk taker, psychologist, volleyball lover, sweet person, ride or die buddy, track and field Jill of all trades, homecoming queen, artist, negotiator, designer, singer, peacemaker, lid hoot owl, and my Gracie Habibia. I love you, Grace. You make everyone's life better. Thank you for letting me be your dad.
To introduce our next valedictorian, please welcome Social Studies teacher Ben Ryan.
I am here to introduce to you valedictorian Liam Versteeg. His parents are Jennifer and Michael Versteeg. I've had the pleasure of teaching Liam history now for the last 2 years, and Liam is the kind of student that every educator loves to teach. And it's not just because of his flowing red locks. Among many other things, Liam is extraordinarily brilliant and inquisitive. But more than that, as anyone who has ever taught Liam can testify, he excels because he cares for more than just his grade. Liam is also genuinely interested in the content. In my class, I relished any and all opportunities that he took to add in his 2 cents to a discussion because it was always something that was insightful. Whether it was loudly singing the Soviet national anthem during Soviet school in the fall, writing an excellent IA on Caesar's conquest of the Gauls, or linking our readings of Animal Farm to our studies of 20th century authoritarian leaders, I will miss Liam's commitment and his passion for history and the social sciences. Liam plans to attend the University of Oregon in the fall and study political science, which will open many doors for him. He is a gifted leader both inside and outside the classroom, and while this school year was abruptly cut short, I know that Liam has learned and developed the skills, habits, and grit necessary to lead his life in the direction of his choosing. He has an extraordinary and bright future ahead of him, and I know he will do great things in life. Ladies and gentlemen, Liam Versteeg.
Please welcome cross-country coach Tom Swinford.
Hi, I'm Tom Swinford, and I'm here to introduce Tristan Scarborough. I am the head cross-country coach and the distance coach for track. I have known Tristan Scarborough for 4 years since he participated in both of those sports, and he also worked with me at the Sisters Running Camp for 3 years. He's a good kid. He's a fine young man, and I'm very proud of Tristan. Tristan's loyalty to the team and his leadership helped get Newport High School cross country to their highest placing at the state level in its history. We placed second. He also helped our team get to Boise Nike Regionals for 2 years, and we had never been before. To be able to get to the podium at the state level, it takes a lot of dedication and work personally. You need to be super fit and train systematically to get stronger without getting hurt. You have to have a strong team relationship that will help you get better and help others get better and allow others to help you get better. There is no better example of this than Tristan Scarborough. Tristan went to state 3 years in cross country and was also part of the state swim team for 3 years. Immediately after cross country, Tristan would then join the Civil War team and took our high school team to the setting a course record at the Civil War relay. After the swim title, after winning the title in swimming, he then next weekend would be part of the Three Capes Marathon relay, and this year we set a new school record for that event. Tristan led our team in many ways, not only being a good friend and a nice, fine young man, but he would lead drills. He helped organize team dinners. He designed and ordered team gear, recruited recruited new teammates to do their best and encouraged his teammates to do their best, and he led by example. He did all this. He did all this while still being part of jazz band, the symphonic band, the marching band, plus doing well in school. I couldn't be more honored than to introduce Tristan Scarborough.
To introduce our next valedictorian, please welcome Social Studies and English teacher Samantha Murphy.
Tonight I have the honor of introducing one of our valedictorians, Nikolai Krutsakovsky. Nico is the son of Greg and Vicky, the younger brother to Ronan, and older brother to Merrick. This year he served in very stately fashion as our student body president and soccer team captain. He is enrolled at Oregon State for the fall and plans to study zoology and wildlife biology. For those of you old enough in the crowd to have seen the reruns of the original, Nico reminds me of Richie Cunningham from Happy Days. Exceptionally good-natured, humble, kind, possessing impeccable integrity, everyone's friend, and occasionally goofy. Except he is better because he's also highly intelligent and, of course, actually real. Losing Nico from our hallways, our leadership class, our classrooms, and yes, even the daily announcements will be like an episode of Happy Days without Richie. In seriousness, though, I am a fan of Nico for many reasons, one of which is his ability to be a wise diplomat. My favorite story about him revolves around this quality. During the first months of our English class his freshman year, I was struggling one day to communicate effectively with another student. I just couldn't seem to say the right thing, and no matter how hard I tried, I made it worse. And suddenly, Nico very easily and non-threateningly became a mediator that resolved the situation. It was so natural for him that neither he or the other student even remember it happening. But as the teacher, I will always remember walking away and thinking, that was impressive. And he was 14. I can't wait to see what world conflicts he has mediated 10 and 20 years from now. Nico, if we were actually in the gym right now, this is where I would turn, congratulate you, and give you a hug while everyone applauded. Sometime this next year, while you're home from college on holiday, we will run into each other, probably at Fred Meyer, and I'm going to congratulate you and hug you just out of the blue. And it will be to make up for this moment. In the meantime, I bet your mom would be willing to hug you for me. Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate Nico Krutsakovsky.
Please welcome cheer coach Jessica Arnsdorf to introduce our next valedictorian who will be speaking tonight.
It was January 2016 when I received a message from a very bright, eager, and informative 8th grader. She had a goal and she wasn't going to let anything get in her way of achieving it. You see, Erin Watanabe wanted to make the most of her high school career in both academics and athletics. She wanted to be a valedictorian and win a state title as a cheerleader, both of which I am happy to say she has achieved. Since the first time I met her, I knew there was something special about her. She had a drive to do her best and a positive attitude to go with it. She never let anything get her down, and she always pressed through. Erin's academic achievements include an Oregon Cheerleading Coaches Association's academic scholarship. She is a full IB diploma candidate. She received the National Merit Commended Student, and she was the September Rotary Student of the Month. Her athletic achievements include a 3-time OCCA All-State Team member, placing in the top 3, 2-time NCAA All-American, 2-time Top Gun Stunter, second place finish in both 2018 and 2020 at the OSAA State Cheerleading Championships, and a 2019 state title in cheerleading. She will be attending Vanderbilt University next fall, where she will double major in law, history, and society, as well as women and gender studies, all while studying pre-med. In her free time, she plans to cheering for the Commodores, as she has already made their cheerleading team. It has been an honor to be able to coach Miss Watanabe for the last 4 years, and I'm proud to introduce her as one of your 2020 Newport High School valedictorians.
You know, I never understood how imagining the audience in their underwear was supposed to make you less nervous. I mean, if anything, I feel a little bit uncomfortable, but the 4 other people I've invited to watch me today all look excellent. You guys all look great. I see you guys have been doing your Chloe Ting ab challenges. So, props to you, Crystal. Hello, beloved friends and family, faculty members, honored guests, regular guests, and of course, the class of 2020. I'm so honored to be speaking for you all today, but before I even start, I'd like to address my fellow graduates. Congratulations, guys. We have now done that thing required of us by the government, and in so doing, are now fully prepared to spend thousands of dollars to spend the next 4 years doing the same exact thing. And before we recognize our own accomplishment, we of course have to thank our amazing teachers, administrators, and classified staff for everything they've done for us over the last 13 years. You guys have done an incredible job of preparing us to become ethical, hardworking global citizens in whatever path we choose. And thank you, of course, for pulling out all the stops to give us a memorable, special senior year in spite of everything that's happened. I mean, how about those lawn signs? Yeah! Seriously, our staff is just outstanding, truly. The only thing I wasn't prepared for, before today, is how weird our heads would look in these graduation caps. I mean, I understand about prom and running through the halls one last time and our senior skip day, but did you guys really have to take away our foreheads too? But I digress. Today isn't about what our heads look like, it's about what's inside them. We've been gifted so many valuable bits and bobs of information to lean on as we embark on our journey into the real world. Like how to divide polynomials, or analyze Civil War journal entries, or that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, stuff adults use all the time in their daily lives. I'm only joking, of course. We're all very grateful for the excellent public education we received here at Newport. Like, seriously, let's all thank our lucky stars we didn't end up like the underclassmen, am I right? I mean, my heart goes out to those poor chumps. Imagine having to FaceTime your teachers every day. Where do you even put the emphasis in that sentence? Class of 2020, I'm sure you'll agree we're a class unlike any other. I believe I speak for all of us when I say we know that we got ripped off. And if you disagree with me, consider this. We spent 14,174 hours of our life for a piece of paper and a handshake. And we didn't even get the piece of paper and the handshake. That's not even to mention the last 346 hours we would have spent in school if it hadn't gotten canceled. Doing important stuff like bootlegging our curly, or using an in-class work day to make a Pinterest board of potential hairstyles for prom. I mean, how do you expect us to feel, Governor Brown? But now, fellow graduates, one question remains. Where do we go from here? When people do that thing where they pull the tablecloth out from under the table settings and everything just stays put? Well, to do that trick you need a tablecloth without a hem, otherwise it'll catch on all the dishes and everything will get knocked over. Most of the time you can sit down to eat with your family and count on all of your table settings to stay more or less where they are when you sat down. But sometimes your punk little cousin will ask everyone, "Hey, do you want to see a cool trick?" It is then that you find out that not only does your tablecloth have a huge bulky hem, but it's got a bunch of fringe, like those tassels around the edges, like these. Like a plate or a cup or a bowl of cereal, our plans have been toppled. We may feel like we've been tossed into our futures rather than getting to step into them on our own. There's about 1 million unknowns for us right now, and that's a really scary thought. At a stage in our lives when there's a crushing amount of pressure to have a plan, it is precisely our plans that have been upended. But my purpose in speaking today is not to tell you where to go from here. Our 4 years are coming to a close, and much as I wish there was, there's nothing we can do to stop it. All I can say is this. Spending the last 4 years with you guys has been an honor and a privilege. Growing up with you guys has instilled me with a sense that life is a movie, for real. I'll look back on my 4 years here with you all and remember not that our stuff got canceled, but that you taught me how to live. How to be a good friend, how to be a good teammate, how to be a real one when the homework's due next period and someone needs to copy. In the same way, I implore you, class of 2020, to remember senior year, not for what it wasn't, but for what it was. A year of lost traditions, yes, but also a year that changed everything. It is fair to say that this year was not standardly good, but we can and we should remember it as great, because it was unlike any other. In 50 years, kids will read about our lives in history books. Never again will kids be able to make ice cream with their bare hands in chemistry class. Never again will kids be able to walk past freshmen eating lunch on the hallway floor without cringing. Not that we didn't cringe before, but you get what I mean. Never again will kids be able to let their table mates have a sip of their Dutch. We got to experience nearly 4 years of high school with nary a sanitary precaution nor a care in the world. And in the end, we celebrate the conclusion of our childhood like no one else ever has or ever will. Transformations are scary, but they're necessary and they're beautiful. We are in the midst of growing pains and they will pass. So while right now our futures may seem about as appealing as an upside-down bowl of cereal sitting in a puddle of milk and soggy Fruit Loops, it is important to remember that they have not hit the floor and shattered. Even if they were to go flying off the table, if I were your guys' parents, I'd probably only trust you to eat off of plastic dishes anyways. Things may be a really big mess, but we will pick up the Swiffer sweeper nonetheless and get to work. I would also like to add that I don't know if you would actually use a Swiffer sweeper to clean up milk and cereal. I don't actually do chores, but I think you guys get what I mean. I have nothing but the utmost faith in all of you to weather this storm and come out swinging. If we can survive bottle flipping, fidget spinners, and chunky filas, seriously, we can survive anything. Class of 2020, I miss you, I'm sorry, and I mean it when I say I will never forget you. I love you all always and forever. Thank you.
Please welcome Mary Koike to introduce our next valedictorian.
Raised by incredible and hardworking parents, Enrique and Rocio, it is no surprise that even as a sophomore, their son was determined to be a Newport High School valedictorian. I told him he had the ability to take IB classes and to obtain the IB diploma as well. He wasn't too sure about that. After school, he stopped by my classroom at least 3 times to confirm that I believed he could do it. Well, you did it. Rotary Student of the Month, team captain of varsity boys soccer, a member of the National Honor Society, IB diploma candidate, and headed off to a 4-year university to pursue a career in pharmacy. Please welcome class of 2020 Newport High School valedictorian Enrique Ramos Garcia.
Hello there, everyone. No, I am not physically underwater, but it'd be cool if I was by a reef giving the speech. If I was underwater, having to hold my breath, I'd be glad because of the amazing view of all these corals. But being underwater could be threatening because sometimes you could drown, but that's just a risk that you have to take. I took risks, and I'm glad that I did. For the last 4 years of our lives, we persisted till this day in what we refer to as quarantine. We had our good moments and will continue to hold on to them as special memories. We are strong, 2020 strong. We will go on and do greater things. We can do anything we set ourselves up to. And one day, we are going to change the world for the better. I believe in our class. Overall, I'm giving this speech because I'd like to give a special thanks to every single individual and organization that has supported my classmates and I since our freshman year and will continue to do so. Even if you just smiled at me at some point in this journey, thank you. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, mentors. Thank you, parents. Thank you, all of you. Without you, I wouldn't be who I am or where I am. So thank you to every single one of you.
To introduce our last valedictorian, please welcome back Ben Ryan.
I would like to introduce valedictorian Dakota Rundell. Her parents are Mike and Denise Rundell. Now, this is going to be tough for me because how exactly can you summarize all of the wonderful things about Dakota in just 90 seconds? Dakota, of course, is an excellent student, right? She's brilliant, she works hard, she thinks outside of the box, and she doesn't quit just because the going gets tough. Now, all of these are qualities of an outstanding student, right? We know this. But that isn't what I want to talk about today. I would rather talk about the fact that Dakota Rundell is one of the most thoughtful and kind-hearted people you will ever meet. As an assistant girls basketball coach, I've had the privilege of coaching Dakota since she was a sophomore. In those 3 years, she has never once ceased in her encouragement of her peers, and she always has a kind word for others. It is my sincere belief that Dakota was the heart and the soul of that team. Now, Dakota has weathered some serious storms this year, but through it all, she sought to serve others. No matter the time and no matter the task, Dakota is the kind of person that I will always pick first, because she brings to the table everything you could ever want in a teammate, in a project partner, and in a friend. I can say, without a doubt, that the world needs more people and more role models like her. As her teacher and as her coach, I will miss her terribly. Ladies and gentlemen, Dakota Rundell.
Hello to all the students, family, friends, staff, teachers, and the class of 2020 listening. I didn't think I'd be here today giving a speech in front of a camera, but that's kind of the theme for the class of 2020, unexpected change. My name is Dakota Rundell, and I am extremely honored to be speaking here today as a valedictorian. To begin, I want to share something that holds true meaning in my heart. I know all of us in the class of 2020 are forever grateful for the love and support from the many adults and peers in our lives these past 4 years. Our class has formed some truly unique bonds with many of our teachers and staff members. I wanted to share how special it is to have so much love on us students. Some of the simplest interactions are what shaped not only my weeks at Newport High, but I know many of ours. From waving to Shannon, Debbie, and Angie every time we walk past the main office, peeking my head into Mr. Moore or Mr. Scarberry's office and getting a snack when I'm supposed to be getting water, going to the counseling center on a bathroom break to make Kenna, Crystal, Mrs. Todd, Kendall, Lindsay, and Dr. Roller laugh, and seeing all my teachers with smiles on their faces as they wave at me during the passing periods. These interactions are so simple yet so meaningful, and they made my days at Newport High School feel like home. I'm grateful for not only the time and genuine care from our teachers and staff that have filled the halls of Newport High since the moment we walked in the doors, but also from our incredible parents. They have been guiding not only their children through high school and life, but their children's friends and other students as well. It feels pretty cool to grow up a Cub and feel the impact from so many other adults in this community cheering you on. When I moved here in the 5th grade, I didn't understand what a true community was. Now, after my years at Newport High School and getting ready to leave this place, I don't know a community of love and support better than this one. What other group of incredible women from the office or teachers drive around to all the seniors' houses and deliver them a sick yard sign or mail them a handwritten card? What other amazing group of parents get together and try to make us kids feel celebrated? And what other school has an incredible Aspire Center, shout out Mrs. Dye and our mentors, working so hard to help us seniors have access to scholarships and plan our futures? We really have a lot to be thankful for. Change. This word in my eyes truly defines the class of 2020. Everyone experiences change in their life, especially throughout their 4 years of high school. But our change began even before high school. Back in the 8th grade, when Newport Preparatory Academy and Isaac Newton Magnet School merged, combined forces, into one middle school, the class of 2020 became a strong group with our own identity, and that is when our relationships and bonds truly began, also known as that 2020 vision. We had a vision for our class to make a mark, do something big. Little did we know the kind of impact we'd be living in by the end of our senior year. Next up in our young careers was another change, and that was starting high school. We not only had to take in all the advice from the seniors and juniors that gave us the typical how to survive high school spiel, but we had to make an identity for ourselves as freshmen. Just not too much of a bold identity to where we were despised by the upperclassmen. We had to figure out what sports or clubs to give our all to. We had to figure out our teachers and what they expected. We had the opportunity to discover new friendships and relationships and where we all fit in. We had to find our niche. To be more specific, and what was really important, we had to figure out how to become friends with people who could drive us to lunch, what water fountain had the best water, and find out if Mr. Moore was really as intimidating as he seemed, or come to find he was just really a best friend. Our class has been through a lot together. Our class has reached many milestones together and achievements. Our class has even experienced and was a part of 7 state championships, which is pretty impressive if you ask me, so shout out to us. Not to say our class is superior in any way to another class, but my classmates are pretty freaking cool and special. We have incredible bonds with peers in this class, many of which I know will continue to grow even post-high school. Given our senior year and the way things have gone, we definitely have overcome many obstacles together as a class as well. We had only a few more months, but these months were going to be some of our best memories made as an entire class. I'm going to say it, we were robbed, completely and utterly stripped of future memories that heartbreakingly we will never have. The livelihoods of some of us students and families were completely changed too, and forever will be affected by what we are going through. However, this experience of being a senior this year is something that only the class of 2020 will ever share, and we will always have that to bring us back together. This time has really helped us all understand what we choose to value in life and how change is a part of our identity now. Change makes us who we are. Sometimes change can be seen as unpredictable and have a negative perception attached to it, but I think that it actually represents adaptability our classes had to have. We roll with what we are given and we take it. We all break and have moments of lows, but we are truly strong, young individuals who can get through anything, and that is going to take us farther in life than those who got the fairy tale ending to their senior year. We will gain the perspective that things don't always go as planned, and will learn how to better prepare when the unexpected happens. Whether that be in our jobs, in college, in a trade, or the military, we aren't going to sulk in unprecedented changes, but we will face them head on, because that's what we've practiced these past 4 years. I'm pretty impressed with us and how far we've come. Now, specifically to my class. 4 years went by pretty stinking fast, especially when we didn't see our 4th year ending as quickly as it did. So much change happened in these 4 years, despite how quick or not they really went by for each one of us. How we will get closure is going to feel weird the rest of our lives, and I think it's something we'll all have to work on. We lived fast these last 4 years, and now it's time to rewrite what we thought would be the perfect ending to our not-so-perfect senior year. I think with all this extra time on our hands, we'll have the ability to figure out what we want to get out of not only our senior year, but the other 3 years of high school. In the wise words of Mr. Hargett, do it right or do it again. We don't really have the opportunity to do this all over again, nor do I think would we want to. So with that being said, how does one just close the book they were in the middle of writing and ending to in the right way? I'm not sure how I will, but I know that what I'm taking out of my high school years isn't going to be what was missed. A missed traditional graduation ceremony, a missed senior prom, a missed grad night, a missed senior baseball, softball, golf, marching band, sailing, or track and field season, a missed senior skip day, and more. However, I am going to take what I did get out of high school instead. I learned how to build my own identity as an individual, how to time manage, how to maintain, rebuild, and make anew many friendships, how to try new things, how to be content and love those around me, how to get over heartbreak, how to make decisions for myself, how to laugh in any situation, how to choose to include, how to create meaningful bonds with adults, what an amazing community is, how to serve others, how to thank others, how to not give up, and how to be thankful for what you have before it is too late. I think we all may have some similar lessons in our back pockets now. The class of 2020, don't live the next 4 years waiting for that perfect ending, because as we know more than anyone, we might not get it. Instead, live the rest of your life thankful for the now and don't focus on living fast, but live to make yourself and the world around you a better place. I really am proud of my classmates. I hope they know that what they're going through their own future ups and downs that we will all face for the rest of our lives, they remember how strong they really are. I hope that they continue to be amazing classmates, teammates, co-workers, and friends who value relationships with others. Thank you, class of 2020, and I know you're all going to do big things. I can't wait to see us cheering each other on. I hope we all continue to love and be there for each other these future years to come, because what will never change is the memory this class is leaving behind. I love you guys truly, and thank you all for some of the most important and shaping years of my life. Go Cubs, and let's go do big things. Thank you.
One more time, please celebrate the valedictorians and salutatorian for the class of 2020. Please now welcome IB Coordinator Jody Hanna.
It is a privilege to be here today to honor our 2020 graduates. I have had the opportunity to work with many of the students graduating today, and I am proud of their determination and grit. We have many wonderful courses, programs, and extracurricular activities at Newport High School, and I have the awesome job of overseeing the challenging, globally recognized International Baccalaureate Diploma program. Most Newport High students sign up for the added academic challenge of taking one or more of these IB courses. These college-level classes offer students an opportunity to learn the skills necessary for success at a four-year college or university. This is the 13th year Newport High School has graduated International Baccalaureate diploma candidates. 8 students have completed the rigorous requirements to earn the full IB diploma this year. This distinction requires a minimum of 6 IB classes, the philosophy class Theory of Knowledge, 150 hours of creativity, activity, and service, and a 4,000-word extended essay, which you can read about in your program. 3 of our IB diploma graduates are valedictorians, and the others have maintained GPAs of 3.7 to 3.98, demonstrating that students can maintain high GPAs while undertaking this challenging program. And for the first time, we are graduating IB students who have also completed AVID. Thank you to the Lincoln County School District, Mrs. Matson, Mr. Scarberry, Dr. Roller, and the IB teachers whose commitment to this program has ensured its success. And thank you to the parents whose support is critical. The special achievement of these students is recognized by the IB medallion, which I am wearing for them today, and by a pen handcrafted by Mr. Hanna. It is with great respect and admiration that I introduce the IB diploma candidates. Abby Dubois will attend OIT in the fall and will major in software engineering. She loves watching movies and is a modular origami enthusiast. Caden Fletcher Vogel will double major in marine biology and veterinary sciences at Oregon State University. She loves playing soccer and taking care of and riding her horse. She also tried out wrestling for the first time this year, an experience she will never forget. Maritza Lima Sanchez will attend Portland State University in the fall and will earn a degree in business. Maritza has been learning Korean for 3 years. She enjoys learning languages and is attempting to speak fluently in at least 2 more. Josue Sanchez Valencia will attend OSU. He plans to study computer science. Josue says there is nothing more rewarding than making people laugh. Tristan Zemer plans to attend Oregon State University and study pre-med biochemistry. He loves Shakespeare and other classic literature like Homer. And our IB diploma valedictorians, Enrique Garcia Ramos, Noah Goodwin Rice, and Aaron Watanabe. Congratulations to our 2020 Newport High School International Baccalaureate Diploma candidates.
To present the 2020 commencement address, please welcome English teacher Rachel Newby.
Oh, hey, class of 2020. It's so good to see you. Yeah, high five. Oh, you want a fist bump? Okay. Come on in, come on in. I knew you guys were missing school so much, so I decided to give my speech in my classroom. Of all places, I know. So here we are. It's kind of a mess. Sorry about that, but I'm kind of not really that sorry because that was your word sophomore year. So come on in, if you remember your sophomore year, this is what you saw when you were greeted through the door. And I want you to just kind of think back. What was that like? Now, as we look around the room, there's a lot of things that you might remember and there's a lot of things that you might not. And some of you I know didn't have me sophomore year, but I'm gonna paint you a picture of just what it was like. So here we go. We have some things over here. There's some mirrors and some ideas where I just really want you guys to reflect on all of the things that you have done throughout your high school career. And I want you to remember that when we had all of this mess, we organized it and we put it into something that we called a story. So this board, we went outside right after you looked in the mirror and we talked about what it means to be a mess, but you guys also made a mess on this board. And then, I don't know if you remember either, after winter break, there was a bunch of nails on here and some of you thought it said stop. It doesn't say stop, it says story. And then eventually we were able to put all of this yarn on here and make the word really pop. So I wanted to help us remember that experience. And I asked some of my closest NHS friends to reenact this with me. So I'm going to be you, class of 2020, and they are going to be the mess. All right, class of 2020, that was a mess. That was an experience, and I'm glad I got to do that. So this is really just the embodiment of you guys. This is your class, and this is your mess. But if you noticed, we all had some signs that said our mess, and then at the very end, my shirt was supposed to say our story. And there was something that happened with the shirt. It didn't quite go how I wanted it to go, and I think that's something that happens often. Things don't go how we want them to go, and our expectations are just not met, and we get really disappointed, and that's when things get messy. So you know I like words, and you know I like whiteboards, so we're gonna come over here, and here's our word, mess, but I want you to see what happens when we add some letters to it. We get a message, and it kind of reminds me of that song that Olaf sings, This Will All Make Sense When You're Older, right? And honestly, sometimes things do make more sense when you're older, because if you think about it, your perspective is based on your experiences. The more experiences you have, the wider perspective you have. So maybe when you have some age, you become wiser, you become a sage, okay? But also, you still don't lose this part of it. It is still very messy. Now, I want you to think too, what is a message? A message is a piece of information that we can get something from, we can gain something from. It has meaning. So when you're thinking about 2020 and this year that has just been so, here it is. It's just gross, but maybe we can find some meaning in it. Now, I want to tell you a bit of a story. So our other word here, we have mess and we have story, and we can organize our messes, we can hide our messes, we can ignore our messes, and another option is we can own our messes. And I'm going to talk to you about that just a little bit, but I want to tell you a story. In 1989, something happened that changed the world. Yes, I was born, but something else happened. The man named Sir Tim Berners-Lee created the World Wide Web. So that's why I have this thing right here, www. So it was me, but it was also the World Wide Web. And what better place to find stories and connections and a mess? I want you to think about your life. What would it be like without the web? That would be insane. So then I want you to move a little bit further on down the line. 2001, 2002, guess what happened? You were born. Some of you in 2001, some of you in 2002, but there was also a mess going on. 9/11 happened in 2001. Kind of funny, interesting to think about. I was 12 when that happened. Now, when I say funny, I don't mean like, that's hilarious, 9/11. But this is my birthday. So not only are we connected through 9/11, but we're connected through big changes that have taken place. This changed the world. 9/11 changed the world. And I want you to think about how your mess connects with other people. Your mess is always going to connect with someone else. It is yours, but it is also ours. I want you to look at this word real fast. Look what happens when you ask why. It becomes yours. So when you look at a mess, you need to ask why. You need to ask what. You need to ask, what am I supposed to do? How do I deal with this? And then you start to own it and it becomes yours. But don't forget that we are all a part of this. Now, I think you've been hearing this over and over again. We're all in this together. And sometimes that feels kind of annoying. But listen, that's true. Your mess will get on somebody else and their mess will get on you. I want you to think about what happened. All of those teachers throwing the paint on me, they got messy too. It wasn't just a clean deal. So I got the most of it, but they got it too. So here's our next thing. Now, I want you to just consider this idea of how often we tell stories. We have Facebook here in 2004. Then we have 2006 with Spotify. And why do I have Spotify on here? Because songs are a big way that people tell stories. And they're also a big way that people process their mess. Then we have 2006 with Twitter. Hello, Twitter beef. Okay. Then we have 2007 with the iPhone. Weird. That was the year I graduated high school. 2007, what a big change. Then we have 2008 with the Android. Okay. Then we have 2011 with Snapchat, 2010 Instagram. Then we have 2013 to 16 Vine. Yes, Vine went away. And 2014 with Musical.ly. Then it merged into TikTok in 2018. Think about your life if you did not have these things right now. What would it be like if you didn't have the web right now? Think about all of the connections that you wouldn't have, but also think about how your life might be better. Could it be? In the end, you have what you have, and you get to figure out how it all goes together, and you get to figure out how to make some meaning out of it. Now, I want to show you something else. All of these things were met with big change. And I'm going to say something that you might push back on and it might feel a little bit weird, but with change, you have grief. Because change brings on some sort of loss of something. Now, it might seem like I'm trying to say all change is bad. It's not. And grief is not bad. So think about the changes that you have had to go through this past year, 2020, even with 2019, and think about all the things that you've had to let go of. Think about all the things that you were disappointed about. Think about all of the things that you wanted but didn't get, but also think about the things that you got instead. A good change can also be something that brings some sort of grief. Your parents are feeling it right now. Parents and guardians of class of 2020, it is okay to feel grief that your child is going to move on. I want to give you permission to feel that. A lot of you right now are feeling a lot of different things, and you're bummed that you didn't get to run through the halls, and you're bummed that you didn't get some prom, and you're bummed that you didn't get whatever. It's okay to grieve that loss. And I want you to think about kind of this process of grief. I was reading a book and listening to a podcast, and they have this whole process, and this isn't necessarily something that everybody goes through, these steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all of those things. But there is this guy who wanted to add an extra thing. So look at this. We have denial. How many of you were in denial that school was not going to go back in session? I was. Okay. I was also in denial that I was going to have to teach online. Okay. Anger. How many of you were kind of angry about this whole deal? I was kind of mad. I was also a little relieved at some point. You know, some of you probably felt a lot of relief in some area. Then we have this depression. Now, I'm not minimizing the fact that some people actually have depression, okay? But there's this deal where it's just like, I can't get through this. Then we have this bargaining. Okay, but like, what if we just go to school in groups of 10? What if we just do like a little running through the hall? What if, like, you know, we do graduation outside? Okay, we have all of these things, and then finally we come to this acceptance, but sometimes acceptance isn't enough. What does it mean, though? Yeah, I can accept that we don't get to have school. I can accept that my graduation is going to be weird. I can accept that I'm a mess. But what does it mean? Come over here to this. And I want to talk to you about what it means to own your mess so that you can tell a story and find some sort of meaning. So this first letter, O, is oh. And this is a realization you get when you start looking at the mess in your life. So when we were outside, we had school, we had work, we had adolescence, we had adulthood, we had all those things. And these are the realizations you have when you start looking at the stuff that is difficult in your life. I had an O recently. I went to my parents' house and they're cleaning everything out because they're moving, and we lived there for over 20 years, and there's all of these things, and they said, "Here's your stuff." And I said, "No, I don't want that. But I have to have it because it's mine." And there was a realization that I have to take care of my things. They don't belong to my parents. It's mine, and I have to deal with it. Then we have this W, and this is for what? There's a lot of different ways to say what. Start questioning things that you find in your mess. Why are they there? Have they happened for a reason? Have you figured out the reason? Did you cause it? Did someone else cause it? What's going on? And then our last one is, nah. If there is something in your mess that you shouldn't take on, that doesn't belong to you, get it out of there. You don't have to take on everybody else's stuff. And I think sometimes when we're in the midst of everything, you saw it outside, people were throwing all this stuff. That's not yours to deal with, and you can get rid of it, and you can say, no, that's not mine. So in order to own your mess, you have to do these things, but also you want to own your mess so you can tell your story. And when you start telling your story, you can find connection. And when you start connecting to other people, you find belonging.
Belonging is the ultimate goal when setting out to own your mess, tell your story, and find connection. What better way to symbolize the path to belonging than a puzzle? It's messy. It's a process. Sometimes it takes forever, but the feeling you get when you find where a piece belongs, priceless. That is what ownership feels like. And I don't know about you, but when I put a piece where it belongs, I want to tell other people about it. That's my connection. I did that. It's my story to tell. Before the school year started, I knew I wanted you to build a puzzle. Little did I know how puzzling this year would be. I wanted you to go through the process of physically organizing the mess and making the connections, but you didn't get to. You didn't get to do a lot of things. But there is still a sense of ownership to be had. There are still messes to organize, stories to tell, connections to make, memories to hold on to, even if they aren't what we thought they would be, even if they don't look normal. I took each of these pictures in 2019 as inspirational pics of the day. I wanted to try to look at everything from a different perspective. There's an old broken plastic Santa who used to sit atop Barb Wright's roof during Christmas time. There's a pair of glasses I used to wear before I got LASIK eye surgery. Oh yes, I do have 20/20 vision. There's a trash can that was tipped over in the wind. No, I didn't pick it up. None of these things seem inspirational. Some of them are really ordinary and could even be considered worthless, disgusting, or just plain unremarkable, but that's life, isn't it? It's our job to puzzle it out until it means something, until whatever mess we have been given is transformed. We can let go of Santa for new decorations and be thankful for old memories. We can see more clearly even though there was pain involved in the process. We can remember that even if there is trash in our lives and the wind has tipped us over, we can get up, and we will. Because it's a trash can, not a trash can't. Class of 2020, look at your life. You might look a little weird. You might not fit in just anywhere, but that is because you have a specific place to belong. Have you ever tried putting a puzzle piece where it doesn't belong? It messes up the whole puzzle, and sometimes the pieces get stuck and you might break them when you try to take them apart and put them where they actually go. Don't try to fit in. Find out where you belong. I know you want to ask the question, but where do I belong? And I will give you the answer you already know. Who's to say? And here's the answer to that question. I know you have been waiting for it, some of you for years, and some of you already know the answer. Class of 2020, who's to say? You. You get to tell your story. You get to connect. You get to find the place where your meaning, your purpose resonates with those around you. You get to own your mess and not put it on someone else and hope they will fix it for you. You belong where you don't hide, don't ignore, don't fit in. You belong here. You just have to find where here is. It might be difficult for you to see the big picture. It might even seem like you aren't even in the picture anymore. But if you are willing to do the work of owning your mess, telling your story, and making connections, you will find where you belong. Each of you has a place in this puzzle. I know because I wrote your name on the back of a piece, and you now have it. You will have it for as long as you keep it. You might throw it away tonight. You might throw it away in a few years. You might take a picture of it and then throw it away. You might keep it forever. Who's to say? But know this, you always have a place to belong in this puzzle. This puzzle will be sitting in my classroom forever incomplete without you. As new kids come in and look at it and it drives them crazy that the puzzle is incomplete, I will tell them it's because the class of 2020 is out there with all the pieces. We are complete when we own our messes. We are complete when we tell our stories. We are complete when we connect with one another. We are complete when we find out where we belong. Class of 2020, who's to say? You.
It is now time to present the graduating class of 2020. Presenting the diplomas as voted on by the senior class are Assistant Principal, Mr. Scarberry, and Health Teacher, Mr. Lozier.
Wrangler, Beck. Jacob Pockris. Grace Ferguson. Kylie Johnson. Emily Holmes. Ken Blair. Sage Elizabeth Clemens. Avery Osborne. Tristan Scarborough. Alina Chavez. Audrey Vanderhoff. Boys. Corbin Finley. Liam Alexander Versteeg.
No, what am I going to wait? Do I take a picture?
Jayon Deshaun Smith. Skylar Lake. Grayson Burka. Tom Branford. Cole Carey.
Joby Razor. Am I blessed? Yay. Yay. Harley Liberis. Aaliyah Lancaster. Roselli Avendano. Francisco Julian. Ruby Madison Sheehan. Mackenzie May Kaufman. Kenna Elizabeth Burtness. Tanya Avila. Moira Collette. Oceana Nalani Mungaya Kasner. Mark Anderson. Kane Michael Little Coyote. Noemi Herman. Juliana Marchand. Omar Ruiz Garcia. Emma Jennifer Gayoso. Jared Richard Dyer. Jason Velasquez. Ricardo Domingo. Anderson Calderon Hernandez. Juan Lopez Valderas. Enio Perez.
Abby Du Bois. Vinny One Star McCabe. Amelia Vaught. Jade Weber. Caden Shanks. Nathan Johnson. Jonathan Barron. Kai Johnson. Taylor Turner. Levi Yerkes Bazin. Taylor Donovan Smith. Connor Brooks. Lucius Chandler. Tristan Zemer. Jason Lee. Ethan Todd Shreve. Oh, here, Ethan. Okay. Tristan Ash Sudborough. Andrew Berkman. Ashton Byrne.
Dixon Wilson.
Good job, buddy.
Matt Barton. Renee Peterson. Kevin Jimenez Cortez. Sam Watson. Clayton Daniel Mullet. Nicole Ann Dixon. Jade Rich. Rachel Lucia Walton. Mary Jane Oxen. Rochelle Daniels.
Congratulations.
Presley Cannon. Vanessa Yanis. Monse Peña Hernandez. Keone Trejo. Lorena Cornejo. Betsy Alejandro. Leslie Yadira Melo.
Tanis Pembleton. Noe Terrascano. Gus Garcia. Madison Granum. Kevin Mazzo. Danny Mendoza. Juan Zuniga. Diego Mendoza Santos. Gabriela Jacqueline Hernandez Gutierrez. Kylie Brock. Ari Gomez. Jaden Smith. Jacqueline Lukic. Jocelyn Wood. Olivia Mercier. Teresa Vonna Williford. Brandon Keating. Noel Vertner.
Alan Islas Ruiz. Danny Martinez Hernandez. Kevin Teodoro. Alexander Aparicio Arzola.
Congratulations.
Colby Spink. Luke Lozier. Freddie Hidalgo. Brian Tapia Garcia. Enrique Garcia Ramos. Hannah Tromlitz. Grace Helen Pargent. Noah James Goodwin Rice. Nikolai Keaton Hoover Krutsikowski. Luke Michael Buckhart. Aaron Sueme Watanabe. Dakota Brooke Rundell. Claire Alexandra Matson. Emma Jane Allen.
Josh Nichols. Zethan Brandenberger. Austin Adair Perry. Taylor Berge. Traxon Sean Lucchini.
Okay, can I sleep on?
It's happening.
You're good.
Tamara Uribe. Kiana Grace Wojorski. Caden Fletcher Vogel. Maritza Jasmine Lima Sanchez. Rachel Turner. Leela Artemis Christ Stokes. Neilani Caprice Thompson. Jayla Fletcher. Tyler James Bittinger. Colton Lee. Cruz Rodriguez. Josue Sanchez. Liz Lackey. Joshua Caleb Carson Malloy. Charlie Adams. Christopher Lee.
Some of the members of the class of 2020 were not able to participate in tonight's ceremony. These students are Karina Abdulina, Barrett Blank Pauts, Brycelyn Dabney, Enes El Kodari, Dino St. Basil Hyman, Mackenzie Rhiannon Hauseter, Sam Daniel Monroe, Jayla Roseanne Morford, Valerio Puel, Joshua Rausch, Toshio Nico Taguchi, Stefan Vanderhoff, Maria Malo Verissimo. Newport High would also like to take a moment to remember and honor the memory of Chastity Sargent.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to present to you the Newport High School graduating class of 2020.